I want to address something that you said I don't know if it was from a stream or a clip for something today. I don't know. But you said something about how you would have been cool 100% if I just said that Dick was my dude and I was going to ride with him no matter what happened, right?
Correct.
So if when all this went down, I said, you know what? I think Dick's trying to fuck over Eric July, and I like Eric July. I want him to make millions of dollars, but Dick's my dude, and I'm going to ride with him forever, whether he's wrong or not. You'd been perfectly okay with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you're being honest. 100%.
So the implication, though, is that I meant that, but I said something else, and therefore I'm being dishonest.
Well, yeah, I just feel like you're not as impartial as you like to think that you are, or that you make it appear. The reason being is because when this whole gay shit popped off, the first thing it is that you did, Nick, you could have acknowledged, right? You chose not to. You chose not to acknowledge that. Well, okay, this weirdo started, which is your partner. That's cool. It's all gravy. Started hot siding on me. It was not the other way around. This was not a me versus him thing. It's like, oh, you're like, oh, this whole thing is gay. And I'm like, well, you need to be applying. I told you this. You remember I told you this. I told you this when you first kind of injected, because your chat's asking you about all this. They know that
it happened on my show. Like this started here, not from me, but it started because Nina, Dick was criticizing the book. Nina says, "Have you read it?" He says no. Then everybody's like, you got to read it and do the review. How can you know? And all that shit popped up. That wasn't me. So I don't know how I didn't acknowledge it. I mean, it started.
No. I'm not talking about doing that. What I'm saying is that you didn't, as far as what you didn't acknowledge, is that you're presenting it as if this was this guy versus that guy thing, when that's not at all what this was. Your partner started the issue, right? That's and it's all on him. This isn't an Eric versus him thing. This is a thing that he is perpetually online. Maybe he doesn't have it all upstairs. This is maybe his shtick. But if you want the shit to end, and you want that, because you find this whole thing gay, and you're genuine about that, right?
100%. I hate
that's a conversation that you got to have with him. It's not the other way around.
I'm not his dad, man. What do you want me to do?
All right. So you're not.
Tell you to stop.
Right. Wait, that's exactly what it is that you did.
No, it isn't.
You said you. All right. So let's be more accurate.
I said. I'll be 100% accurate. I said Dick is a troll, and if you keep feeding him, he will keep going, because that's who he is.
All right. So and I totally understand that is, I'm not unaware about that. What I'm more so referencing is that, hey, you were presenting it as if it was this guy versus that guy thing. You found the whole thing to be gay, but the party that's instigating the shit, you're not saying anything about. You're not addressing him. You're trying to play the middle. You're pretending like you're trying to play the middle of the road, when the argument is that I make, you're completely ignoring the context. I guess that is what it is that I'm saying. And the context,
I think you missed the parts at the beginning where I said that Eric isn't engaging this, and that's good, but his fans are stirring this up because they respond constantly. And again, I'm not blaming you for that. I was respecting the fact that you were not engaging. And then eventually it pops off. I know how exactly this shit happens to me all the time. Yeah. People bring you in. You got brought in. That sucks, man. Like 100%.
Well, not necessarily. Let's just be honest. The guy that you call your partner,
I've never called him that. You called him that, but
all right. So what is he to you?
I think he's just a friend.
All right, so a friend. That's what I mean by partner. Same. Okay, those are interchangeable terms. That's your partner.
Okay, I want to be clear, because some people have implied that I have a business relationship with Dick, which I do not. Dick
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that.
I'm just being clear on that. Okay, gotcha.
But no, that's your partner. That's all that it is that I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you, and this is my honest opinion, if you actually wanted the shit to end and you didn't, this is not something that you would have preferred to happen, you would have took that up with the actual initiating party. And that's not what it is to do it. No.
I didn't do that?
No. Not to my knowledge, you didn't do it. You did, however, bring it up like, hey, I don't want you to be, I wish that this wouldn't happen and this is all gay and all that. To my knowledge, you haven't done any of that. But on a serious note, on a more serious note,
would you have knowledge if I did?
Absolutely. If I know about it, I'd absolutely acknowledge. Like,
well, if you know about it.
Huh?
If you know about it, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. That's what, and that's what you just
necessarily know.
Say what?
Do you know what I've said to Dick about this?
No, not. I only know what you say in public. Have you? I ask you flat out. Have you?
Maybe.
All right. Is that a yes or a no, though, Nick?
I don't know. Is it a yes or no? You're saying
what
I haven't had.
Hold on.
You're the one who said what I did.
You can't sit up here and keep asking me these questions.
First of all, you're asking me to be his damn
have you addressed
dad,
it personally about it? Have you? Yes or no? Yes or no?
I've talked to Dick 100 times about this. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. That's all. Okay, cool. And so how did that conversation go?
Exactly as you would expect a conversation with Dick Masterson about what they should do.
I don't know how that is.
You haven't figured that out by now? Like if you tell Dick to do something that he's not going to do it, right?
What did you tell him to do?
Hey, Dick, this shit's gay. I wish you would stop.
You told him to stop?
What am I going to do? Like demand? I'm not.
I'm asking you had a conversation with. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Do you call people up and tell them to stop doing something?
If I have a personal
friend
like and I think they're doing something that I think is ill-advised, I 100% will. If it's
you'll tell them.
I will advise them in whatever way. I can't demand as a grown ass man.
You can't demand something of a grown ass man, but I can.
No, I'm not saying no. That's the complete opposite of what it is. And I'm saying that's why I'm asking you what it is. What it is you said. You of course can't demand of a grown ass. You can't control. He's a grown ass man. I'm asking you. Did you say as his friend, like, hey, cut the bullshit out? I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not saying you're required to. I'm just
you knew 5 minutes ago, but now you don't. That's
no.
The point
I said all I know is what's public, Nick. That's all I know.
Yeah, but first you said you never said this to Dick.
Public.
You never asked him.
I'm referring to public.
Public came up when I called you out on it, though.
Let me correct it and be more accurate. I'm specifically referring to what you say publicly. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. No, I've told Dick that I
mean, you ain't talked to me. You haven't talked to me about this shit at all.
Would you want me calling up and saying, "Hey, Eric, I think you should stop this shit with Dick"?
If you thought I was in error, Nick, if you thought we were cool and you thought I was in error, right?
Do I think you're in error?
I would say no. That's all it is that I'm saying.
But do I think you're in error?
I don't think I'm in error. Do you?
No.
Okay. So, but all I'm saying is regarding the conversation, which is the question that it is that you just asked. If I thought a friend was in error, I would say, "Hey, man, I don't think that's what it is you should do."
Well, to be clear, we may differ on what we think he's in error on, but I have said I wish this shit was over. It's annoying. It fucks up my show, and I hate you for it, you bastard.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Well, again, didn't hear that publicly, which so that's good.
Why
news.
Would you?
Dude,
I don't air that shit out in public. Like, why would I do that?
Oh man, you talked a lot about this situation publicly.
Have I ever said that Eric July is wrong?
Well, what you have said, you worded in a way, and I don't know if it's lawyer speak, is I wouldn't have done this if I was him. That's essentially how you word things.
I wouldn't have.
All right, cool. Right. So this is.
But I've actually never said you're wrong. In fact, even on the places where I disagree with you, because you have a set of evidence that you think leads to the conclusion that Dick and Vito are behind the contacting of the charity and behind the contacting of the ISOM company, right? Like,
well, I'm going by what on the latter. I'm going by what was specifically stated by them.
What was stated on their podcast.
That was specifically stated by them.
And even in that instance, in which I disagree, and I say, I do not find this to be sufficient evidence. One, because Vito is retarded and uses we in an inappropriate way. Two, because that Twitter account and that email address exists.
So what about is your buddy as retarded when he says I contacted a charity?
Dick contacted the charity about something else? No, I think he clearly contacted the charity. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he's not the guy who sent the email.
The
email that's in question.
Okay. Right? So either way, you're saying that you understand that he specifically mentioned that he did the charity or he contacted the charity.
Sure.
Okay, you're just saying that the email, I guess, as far as what I talked about in that video, wasn't him. That's the point is you're making, or you don't see sufficient evidence that it was.
Right. I haven't seen sufficient evidence. And here's the thing. And I said, however, I don't know if people didn't clip this and send it or you didn't see it. I don't know. But I said, however, I understand and fully accept why Eric would come to that conclusion. He and I have different relationships with Dick. Cool. I've known him for longer. I talked to him about this. I asked him flat out, are you behind sending that email? No, of course not. I think it's funny. I probably would have or something like that. And I'm like, well, that shit's gay. I don't like it. But if you didn't send the email, then, that's until I see otherwise, I have no reason to believe your conclusion over his word. And so I said, though, but Eric doesn't have that relationship with Dick. He doesn't know him at all. And his conclusions are perfectly reasonable. But I think if you're going to start a court case, and there was talk, I don't know if you accused anybody, you said you were going to sue anybody. I'm not putting that on you. I know there's a lot of talk about a court case about tortious interference and all this shit. And I said, I wouldn't want to go to court on this evidence, and I'm waiting to see something more. If I see more that is more conclusive, I'll happily say that's bullshit. I hate that shit. I do not like people fucking with other people's business.
All right, so hold on. Let's address that.
One second. And every single time I always finish with, I love Eric. I love what he's doing. And I want that man to make millions and millions of dollars. I want this shit to go away. I think the lawsuit's bogus. I think they got trolled into it. And I think it's retarded.